Hi, this is Heather Sides. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! And I'm out of Spokane, Washington. I come to you once a week to do a video where I typically show you 3 cards and show you how I made them. Tonight we're going to do something a little different in that I have 2 cards and a project for you. Give me a moment. We're going to give everybody a couple minutes to get online here. And I am also going to make sure I've got everything up on my screen so that I can see your comments. Speaking of your comments, I love it when you participate in the conversation. Whether you're asking me questions or talking to one another, that is one of my favorite parts of doing these lives. So make sure you participate. When you do, your name goes into a drawing that I will announce the winner for next week. If you're watching this on a replay, whether you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, still go ahead and comment. Let me know where you're from, say hello, tell me what you liked, ask questions, whatever. Because you'll still end up in the drawing, even if it wasn't during the live video. So let's see here. Looks like Marcy's on. Hey Marcy, welcome. So I've got a little news to share, as I indicated in my little teaser telling everybody to be here tonight. I got a new assistant. As I announced last week, our little puppy, we had to put him to sleep because he had gotten into some trouble eating. He ate a Kong, and it didn't do well with his little body. So I decided I just couldn't be without a puppy. I'm a dog person. I needed one. So last Wednesday, when we were all done here, my son and I went out to look at a litter, and we looked at a little boy and a little girl. And, I was just kind of waiting to say, whichever puppy speaks to my heart, that's the one I'm going to get. So I wasn't married to the idea of getting a boy or getting a girl. I just wanted the puppy that was perfect. And my son, who was with me, he's 23, when I had picked out Phineas, he was really pretty non-committal. I mean, he loves animals. He's my animal kid. And, but even then, when I picked out Phineas and I said, which one do you think? He said, well, I don't know, whatever. He remained non-committal about it. But with these ones, we were looking at him and he was holding the little girl. And he looked at me and he said, I'm in love with this one. And that just spoke to my heart. And that's how I knew she was the one to get. So hang on, let me get her and I will introduce her. Lucy, come here, baby. Come here, little girl. There's mommy's girl. Okay, so this is Lucy. I'm sort of wondering if Lucy is short for Lucifer sometimes. Boy, she is spunky. She definitely has her voice and uses it. She has no problem sharing her opinions. She's got plenty of them. And she tells us what she thinks on a regular basis. She's into everything. She is going to give us a run for our money. We are going to have to stay 10 steps ahead of her, or we're going to get lost. We're going to get left way behind in the dust. So, anyway, this is Lucy, our little girl, and so far she has just been the perfect little addition to our broken-hearted household. We are in love with her. So I'm sure you'll be seeing more of her as you did with Phineas, especially if she gets taller and is able to stand up and put her nose on the desk like he used to do. So anyway, you ready to get down, little girl? Okay. So you may hear her barking throughout the video tonight because, like I said, she has opinions and she wants us to hear them. So I see a few more people have joined us. Welcome, Tammy. Welcome, Talina. It's good to see you guys. I'm seeing hearts. Yeah, hide my crafts. I do have everything up high, mostly high enough where she can't get to it. But there's still going to be stuff she gets into, I'm sure, because that's just the nature of having a puppy, right? Marcy, thank you for sharing this. I do appreciate it. By the way, if you are watching this, sharing this video is a great way to help me grow my business. It gets my name out there, and you never know who is watching your feed, who might be interested in something like this. So I would love it if you would share this on your on your page. If you're watching it on Facebook, if you're watching on YouTube, you can also, share it with a link that way. That, like I said, helps me a lot, and I really appreciate it. So, let's go ahead and we're going to get this camera turned around, and I'm going to go over a few little housekeeping things, some specials we've got going on. We have a new little bonus with Celebration I'm excited to tell you about. And then we're going to get going on our cards and a project. Like I said, normally I do 3 cards. This week we're going to do 2 cards and a project, and I'm excited to share them with you. So let's get this show on the road. Hang on just a second. Okay, welcome Mary. I see Mary joined us. Okay, get this all lined up here. Okay. Oops. It's awfully heavy here. It's kind of wanting to bend a little. So bear with me as I tighten this up. And whoa, it's tipping. So I'm gonna have to put some weight on that. It hasn't done that before, so that's kind of interesting. It must just be the way I've got everything set up here, and that it's just balanced in a way that it does not like. Okay, let's see. Okay, now as I said, I encourage you to participate in conversation, whether you're talking to me, asking questions, just saying hello, or talking to one another. That's part of the fun of this whole thing, and it's my favorite part of sharing all this with you. So welcome, Nell. It's good to see you. By the way, Nell, last week you won our weekly drawing, but I need your mailing address. So if you will either send me a message here on Facebook, or you can send me an email at stamphappenings@gmail.com with your mailing address, I can get that in the mail to you. So, okay, so first thing I want to tell you about is Sweet Sunflowers. That is our, what month is this? August. Can you believe it's August already? How did that happen? That is our August paper pumpkin kit. I'm so excited to get it. I think it's going to be a ton of fun. It comes with 2 Stampin' Spots. Usually it only comes with 1. This month it's coming with 2. And also a special little gift, some gold honeycomb sort of decorative stuff. So I think it's going to be a beautiful kit. Mary, yes, I did have the new assistant on here, but I will pull her up at the end again so you can see her. Welcome, Shelly. Hello. So anyway, back to Paper Pumpkin. You have until the 10th of the month to sign up for this, and then it cuts off and you can't order it. So I really do encourage you to sign up. It's going to be beautiful. You can sign up for 1 month just to try it out, or you can sign up for 3, 6, or 12-month subscriptions. And when you sign up for 3, 6, or 12-month subscriptions, you qualify for celebration gifts. I'm going to talk about celebration in a minute. So if you're not familiar with that promotion, then hang tight. But anyway, this is coming up and you have until the 10th to sign up. Okay, so Celebration. Celebration is a special promotion that we've been doing twice a year for a little while now. We've been doing it once a year for a really long time. Hi, Chris. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. So anyway, with Celebration, this little brochure I have here is filled with all sorts of fun, free gifts from Stamping Up. There's everything from stamps to dies to some paper, designer series papers. There's even a set where you can get both, let me find it here, both designer series paper and a stamp set. Most of these, if you spend $50, you get to pick one for free. There's a couple where you have to spend $100, but you can get an unlimited number of gifts depending on the size of your purchase. So you can get any combination. Say you spend $150. You could get 3 $50 gifts, or you could get one $50 gift and one $100 gift, however you choose to split it up. So it's a lot of fun, and there are some great gifts in here. Now, just to step it up a little bit, Stampin' Up announced yesterday that they are offering 10 more free gifts with Celebration. I know it's hard to see in this black and white print that I have here, but you can go to my website, heathersides.stampinup.net, and you can see these a little bit better. But these other additional choices are all things that are in our annual catalog. So you may have been eyeballing them for a while, wanting to get them, and just haven't done so. Now you can earn them for free through the end of the month by placing a $50 order. And it's things like there's embossing folders, there's dies, there's designers, or there's specialty papers. There's all sorts of fun goodies here that you can get. So again, go to my website, check it out. You can see what's available. Just a reminder that our mini catalog came out July through December. I know it seems early, but it's already time to start thinking about what you want to do for your Christmas cards. And this catalog has lots of fun Christmassy stuff in it to make your Christmas cards. You can start looking, see what you might want to do and get a jump on that. But there's also some really nice fall sets, some winter sets, Halloween, all sorts of fun goodies in here that you're going to want to check out. If you need one of these mini catalogs, if you don't have one, definitely let me know. I'd be happy to put one in the mail to you. And then of course we have our annual catalog chock full of all sorts of wonderful goodies. And if you don't have one, again, let me know. I'd be happy to send one to you. So that's pretty much the housekeeping stuff I have for you. The last thing we have is this week's drawing. If you haven't done this before, here's how it works. Like I said, when you make comments of any kind, whether you're just saying hello, whether you're asking questions, participating in conversation, whether you're on the live video or watching on a replay, if you make a comment on here or on YouTube, then your name goes into a drawing, and then a couple of hours before next week's show, I will draw a name from that and announce the winner and the prize on next week's video. So the prize I'm about to award is from last week's video, and this is one of our textures and frames stamp sets. This is a lot of fun, and this was actually a celebration gift a couple of celebrations ago, so you may not have this one. And this week's gift is going to Kim Mull. I haven't seen her on yet. I know she's in a different time zone, so sometimes it's tough. But Kim, if you do watch this, I need your mailing address. If I don't hear from you, I do know how to get it though. But if you want to send me your mailing address, either a message here on Facebook or an email at stamphappenings@gmail.com, I can pop this in the mail to you. Okay, so who's ready to do some stamping? Is everybody ready? The first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a little gift box. And this is called a milk carton box, but this particular one is a lidded milk carton. And the reason it's called a lidded milk carton box is because the lid comes off. Let me show you one that doesn't have a lid. Hang on. This one's a little bit smaller. I made it a while ago, but you can see it's all one piece like a standard little milk carton is. And you open it just through the top. But sometimes people like the little bow and they don't want to undo it. And that's great. I told you we'd hear from her. Hey Kay, welcome. Thanks for joining us. So anyway, this is what we're going to make tonight. A lidded milk carton. And we're going to do some of these steps together just to make sure that I can properly explain how we do stuff. So let me get the pieces. Okay. Now, if you are watching this on a replay, this might be easier to do what I'm about to suggest. If you're watching this live, you might want to come back and watch the replay later just for this part. I have drawn out the pieces of cardstock and designer series paper and the measurements of where you're going to cut and score, and you can take a screenshot of this, but I'll leave it for a second too so you can still do that. So first what we're gonna do, we have two pieces here. This square one, this is our, for me what I did is it's a solid colored cardstock right here, okay? And it is 6 15/16 by 6 15/16. And the reason it's 15/16 is just because you want it to be slightly, just slightly smaller than the lid we're gonna make. This is gonna make the base or the bottom of our milk carton, okay? And what we're gonna do is we're gonna score it, we'll do this together. We're gonna score it at 2.5 inches, and then you flip it 2.5 inches, flip it 2.5 inches, flip it 2.5 inches. So by doing it, by flipping it and doing it each way, you end up with a little tiny, well not little tiny, but slightly smaller one in the center that's perfectly square. And then all these other pieces are just slightly bigger, okay? So let's go ahead and do that one. Let's see here. You know what? I just realized I didn't have a light on, so I hope just turning that light on helps. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and score this at 2.5 inches. I'm gonna flip it again, 2.5 inches. Flip it, 2.5 inches. And flip it at 2.5 inches. Okay, now what we're gonna do, set this aside. And I'm using my big scissors. Sorry, I keep wiggling the camera. I'm using my big scissors for this part just because it is bigger cuts. It's a little bit easier than using my snips, but you can certainly use your snips for this. So what we're gonna do, actually first let's go ahead and fold all of our scored edges. I think that's probably the way to do this. So I'm just gonna go around it like this, scoring all my edges. Okay, now I'm gonna take my scissors and I'm gonna cut along these scored lines, and I'm just cutting a little notch. I'm gonna go like this, and then a little bit of an angle right there. I'm gonna do it on this side as well. And it doesn't have to be super precise. It's just that the pieces will fold together a little bit easier if you have those notches cut out. So now we're gonna turn it around and we're gonna do the other side. Okay. Okay, now we'll just throw those little pieces away. And now we've created the base of our box. That's all there is to doing the base of your box, okay? Oh, I lied. There's one more step. On the pieces that you just cut the notch out of, so not this middle piece, but these four corners, cut off about 1 inch. Again, it doesn't have to be exact, it doesn't matter. Just like so. Okay. All right, so now we have the base of our box. See, and it's gonna fold together just like this. Easy peasy, right? So what we're gonna do is first we're gonna take some Tear & Tape. You could use any strong adhesive. I prefer Tear & Tape. And you're just gonna put it right here and here and right here. If I suddenly squeal, I apologize. I don't want to name names or point fingers, but somebody keeps biting my toes. And that somebody has very, very sharp, shark-like teeth. Okay, so take your bone folder and go over the Tear & Tape just a little bit. It helps press it in. And then gonna take your pick tool, and first we're gonna go like this. You're gonna fold this in and make sure that this edge lines up with this fold right here. Just like so, okay? Let's go ahead and do this side now. Gonna line up the edge and the fold, just like that. Now we're gonna do the same on the other side. See how talented I am? I can do this all while having somebody with shark teeth biting my toes. No, it's not Bill this time, Talina. I think the last time he got kicked for doing it, he stopped doing it. The other thing she does, you guys, this is so funny. I laughed when Jackson told me it happened to him, but then it happened to me this morning. She jumps in the shower, but she does it in a very stealthy manner, so you don't hear her. And so you're in the shower, and all of a sudden somebody is licking your leg. It's very disconcerting. Okay, so now fold this in there. There we go. There, so now we have the base of our box. Make sure you go over your edges just to make sure that tape is pressed down really well. Throw away your little excess garbages. Okay. There we go. Now, you know what I should have done is I should have put some tear and tape on the edges here because I don't like the way this is sticking up. Because I didn't, let me show you how you can fix that. I'm just going to take some glue dots. Take your pick tool, and I'm just going to use glue dots in the corners to stick these corners down, and that should be sufficient. Ta-da! Now I'll need to do every corner. Not a big deal. That's 4 dots. I think I can handle that. Okay. And you know, with Christmas coming up, I hate to say that because I'm one of those people that I wait till the last minute because I can't handle the whole doing the Christmas, 7 months in advance. But, it's not that far away really. And these are great ideas for like little boxes like this are great for like little gifts for co-workers or teachers or where you just want to do something little. The other thing is too, if you're giving like a monetary tip to somebody, like your mailman or whatever, you can put a little roll of dollar bills in there. It'll fit in. So there's an idea. If you want to send me money, feel free to send it to me in one of these. I will definitely accept that, and I won't think negatively of you for doing so. There you have it. Okay, so now let's go ahead and do the lid of our box. And here I've got a piece of designer series paper, and this is from our Pretty Prints designer series paper. Hey Kim, welcome. You won our drawing this week. So make sure that you send me your mailing address, either to stamphappenings@gmail.com or just a message here on Facebook, and let me know where to send it. Okay, so now this piece is 8.5 by 4. And what you're going to do is you're going to score it at 2 inches, 4 inches, 6 inches, and 8 inches. So it's going to leave a little 1/2 inch tab on the end there, okay? So let's go ahead and do that now. If you don't have a good paper trimmer, I highly recommend the Stampin' Up! One. It is so awesome. It extends to 17 inches this way, and it's 12 inches, about 12 inches this way, and it's really a nice trimmer. I like it a lot, and then you can get both the scoring and cutting blades for it. Okay, so when you are scoring designer series paper, be careful, don't do it too hard, because it is thinner than your cardstock, and you can cut right through it with a scoring blade, so be careful. Okay, now, so I'm scoring it at 2, 4, 6, and 8 inches. You know what? I'm having the hardest time here, and I just realized it's because I didn't put my glasses on. I suppose that helps, right? Okay. Wow, that does make a difference. Okay. Then what you're going to do, I forgot, is you're going to go ahead and flip it over. Flip it over this way, okay? And you're going to do a 1/2 inch on the opposite side. Again, be careful not to do it too hard. So now you've got on one side you've done 2, 4, 6, and 8 inches, and then on the other side you've done a 1/2 inch, okay? Now, let's go ahead and get all of our folds. And then we've got the fold that we did on the back side. We're going to have it go the opposite direction. See so how it's coming over like that? Okay. And that's so that we get a nice little, I don't know what you call it. It's this little piece that sticks up right here. Okay, get back on there, little lid. There you go. Okay, so now what we're going to do for this part is we're going to take our tear and tape again, and we're just going to go ahead and put it on this piece right here. And I like to cut this little guy off just because it's extra and it's in the way. So just that little corner right there. Now, okay, now all you need to do is take your pick tool, get the release tape off, and then line this up. Now, don't just lay it down, because if you cut slightly crooked, you may not line up quite right. So make sure that you're lining up against where that scored line is. And you want it to be even on the bottom too. And remember your tear and tape, once you put something down, you better be sure that's where you want it, because it is not really forgiving if you need to move something. So let's see, fix that little square edge right there just so that everything matches up the way it should. Okay, so now we have that. Now the one thing I forgot to do, oh actually I'm lying, I didn't forget to do it, we didn't need to do it. Okay, so this is our lid right here. Now what we're going to do is pinch these pieces together like so. See how I've done that? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of my tear and tape again, and I could have put this down before I folded it, but I get excited and I forget. Make sure I'm getting the right sides here. There we go. And I'm just going to pinch these together. Make sure your edges are straight and where you want them. Take your time. There we go. And so now we've created our lid. What do you guys think? Hey Jenny, welcome. I'm glad you could join us. See, now these pieces are just going to slide together nice and easy, just like that. Now, why is this piece wants to come loose? So let's take one of our, the reason it's doing this is because I did it too hard and one of my scored edges cut through the paper, but that's easy peasy to fix. I'm just going to take a little glue dot. I'm going to put it right there. There we go. Ta-da! Now nobody ever needs to know but us. Okay. And it just fits right on the box, just like so. And then you can decorate it up however you want it. So we're going to decorate this now. I went to the dollar store and got some little mini candy bars. that you can put in the box. You can put anything in there. Like I said, you can even put cash in it and send it to me. Okay, so now we're gonna decorate this up just a little bit, okay? So now one thing to pay attention to is you can see this is the seam where it all folded together. I want to make sure that's on the back of my box just because I don't want attention to be drawn to it necessarily. So look for that little seam and then just put it that direction. I have a little bit of our white crinkle ribbon, and you know I've been using it a lot lately. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead, you know, it's kind of hard to tie this and have it stay in place because it's such a small little piece. So here's what I did. I took, again, my tear and tape, and I just put it right here on the back. I'm pressing that down. Make sure I put it on the back. Okay, take that off. Now what I can do is take my ribbon and just, I'm gonna lay it across that tear and tape. That's gonna hold it there. It's a little bit crooked, but well, that's all right. And it's gonna hold it there so that I can tie my ribbon in the front a lot more easily. Because remember, because the lid comes off, it doesn't matter if the ribbon does or does not come off. So now we're gonna tie a little bow. And then you can kind of fiddle with it a little bit and get your loops as big or little as you want them. Let's see here. I want to make sure that all my little pieces are laying down properly. I didn't realize I was off camera with that. Sorry about that. Everything's laying the right direction. Now this is a little loose. I don't like how loose it is. I could untie it and retie it, which I think I'm going to do one time. If that doesn't work, then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a glue dot and glue it right there in the center of my bow, which I may do anyway, so that it holds it tight against the box. Oh gosh, darn it. Okay, let's put a little glue dot under there. I'm really going crazy with the glue dots tonight, aren't I? They're so useful. Okay. And I'm just going to put it under my bow so that my bow stays tight against the box. Oh, I don't like that. Oh, see, now I'm fiddling with it. You guys know what happens when I start fiddling, and then you know, it's just, oh, it's what I do. It's what I do. Get used to it, Heather. It's what you do. Okay. And then I'm going to trim the little tails. That bow is quite a bit bigger than I think I would have liked it to be. But that's okay. Life goes on, right? No, it doesn't. Gotta fix it. Gotta fix it. Okay, that's, you know, a little bit better. Trim my tails a little bit again, because I don't want them super long. Okay, we're gonna leave it. I'm gonna be a good girl. I'm gonna try to be mature about this. I'm gonna leave it. Okay, so now the next thing we're gonna do, I already pre-cut some of the pieces, but not all of them. You know, and I didn't show you this what stamps and such I used with this. Let's figure out where I put them so I can show you. Okay, so I did use a sentiment from the Hello Ladybug set. I'm just doing the hello. I used the Forever Fern stamps. You know I love these stamps. And we're going to use that fern right there. And then from Stylish Shapes, I used that little banner right there. And then from Forever Flourishing, this is the die set that goes with these stamps. We're going to go ahead and cut out the image that we stamp. So let's get going on that. I already cut out the this piece out of vellum. You know, one thing I have started doing a little bit that I love is using vellum. I played with this and I thought, do I want to do, since my colors involve the Blackberry Bliss, I thought, do I want to do this piece in Blackberry Bliss or did I want to do it in white? And you know, the Blackberry Bliss got lost and the white was just too stark. But then when I added the vellum, it gave me that little hint of the white without being so stark. And I really liked that. So if you are having a hard time figuring out, you know, exactly what color, like it needs something, try a little vellum, see how that works for you. Okay, now let's get the stamp going here. Got my stamp and my Blackberry Bliss ink. There we go. And I'm just going to stamp it here on this piece of basic white cardstock, just like so. Okay, put my ink pad away. Now I've got my little cutting and embossing machine, my mini one. It just opens up like this. Hey Jason, welcome. Okay, I'm going to use this die right here. Lay the pieces on my machine. And I'm going to use a little bit of, this is just Post-it tape. There's a few products out there that are like this that you can use. I like my Post-it tape. Save yourself a little money and reuse the pieces though, because they'll hold their stickiness for quite some time, where you can use it multiple times, because it is kind of pricey. Okay, got it in place where I want it. Sorry about the wiggling. Yeah, Jason says he uses the vellum a lot for filler, and that's what I'm starting to do now, Jason. I was just saying that I'm finding that I like it a lot for filler, exactly like what you said, because it's not as stark or bright as white is, but it doesn't get lost in the color if I use a colored one. So, okay, there's our little leaf right there. Our little fern, I guess. Put some of these things away. I don't have a lot of space on my desk. I have this tiny, pretty much what you see is what you get for how much space I have, which is why I'm constantly trying to pick it up as we go. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is take, I've got this and I've got this piece. Oh, we need to do our little label. Now what I did, I'm going to try something a little different this time, but I want to show you what I did so we can see what we like better, okay? We're going to heat emboss this. So I have some white embossing powder. I have my little piece of paper that I'm going to pour everything on because it allows me to pour it back. Okay, now there's two ways you can do this. You can stamp with, for example, well, you can see I have it in white. White is what I wanted. So you can use the white craft ink that we have and then the white powder on top of it. And that's what I used on this one. But I felt like the ink wasn't super solid, I guess. If you look super closely, you can see where it's not solid. I guess it's kind of hard to see on this, but I wondered if maybe doing it the other way, which is to use Versamark, which is a clear ink, and my white powder, if that might work a little bit better. So I'm going to try it with the Versamark this time. And I've got my tiny little Hello from the Hello Ladybug set. Now with Versamark, what you want to do is ink it up until you are convinced you've got enough. And then ink it some more. And you're going to stamp the Hello right in the center. There we go. Then put your pad away, because if you accidentally get the powder all over your pad, it's a nightmare to try to clean it off, and you pretty much have just bought yourself a new ink pad. Okay, so now I'm going to tap off the excess here. Yeah, it looks like it didn't get super solid on this either. I'm just going back over it a second time just to try to pick up some of that extra. And then I'm taking just a little paintbrush. These are just a brush that I picked up at the dollar store. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. To get some of these extra little flecks of the powder off, because if you don't, they will melt onto your paper, and especially when you have a dark cardstock like this Blackberry Bliss, it really shows up. Okay, so I'm going to put this back in. Put my lid on my powder. Now I've got my heat tool. This is going to take just a moment. It's going to get a little bit loud. Holding it down with my take your pick tool. I'm trying to do this at an angle so that you can see it. It takes a moment to heat up, but once it heats up, it starts melting the powder, and it starts to kind of blend together, and it gets shiny. And you can really see a difference once it starts to do its magic. Okay, there we go. Now, let's clean off this stamp before I forget. That's one thing, when you're using Versamark, clean your stamps off right away, because you'll forget, because they're not discolored, and you'll forget and put them away and they'll be all sticky. Okay, now take our pieces and just kind of figure out how you like them, how you want to lay them. I'm going to use my silicone mat primarily because when I do it against the white, it's hard to see what I'm doing. So it's a little easier when you do it on something that's a little darker. So let's see. I think I'm going to trim off this part right there, because I don't want it sticking down beneath, you know, having a couple of different stems here getting in the way. So let's see, how do we like this? I don't want too much of an angle because that looks sort of wonky. What about if we go this way? That works. Okay, so now I'm going to take my liquid glue, and all I'm going to do is just put a little bit of glue on these pieces right here. Maybe a little like that. And then we've got our little hello, and I'm going to use some foam adhesive for this. We're going to use our mini dimensionals. You know me, if it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing, so I put 3 on there. I probably could have gotten away with 1, probably 2, but I overdo things. That's what I do. And I'm just going to put this at a bit of an angle, figure out where I want it. There, like that. Is that how I want that? Yeah, that works. And then I'm going to put these away and add some rhinestones because, you know, why not? make it sparkly. And let's see, put a couple little ones on one side. And one on the other side. Like so. And then I'm just going to take a little bit of my glue here. You can use any kind of adhesive really at this point because it's not going to show. And we're going to put it on the lid right about here, like this. Note that I took it off the box to do that because you want to be able to reach into the back and squeeze it to make sure you press it down well. And there you go. There is your box. There. This one doesn't go, this one seems to push down, doesn't push down quite as far as the other one did, but even so, there you go. Now, one thing I would suggest, if you give this to somebody, I would put like little glue dots under here or something to hold the lid on, only because it does slide nice and easily, and especially if there's any weight in the bottom of the box, like you put candy or whatever in there, you're just gonna pull the lid right off. So I would put something there to adhere it a little bit better. But there's project number one. What do you think? Oh, Judy, I'm glad that you discovered me today. I like to be discovered. I'm glad you could join us. Welcome. Okay, now let's go ahead and move on to project number two. That one took us a little while, so the other projects are a little bit quicker. This project that I have for you guys uses our little hippos. These you can get for free with Celebration. You can get the Hippest Hippos stamps for free. You can get the Hippest Hippos dies for free. You can also get this amazing phrasing stamp set for free. These are all Celebration gifts. You can check those out on my website. So let's go ahead and get going on this card. This one's pretty simple, just a little white card with some color to it, using our in colors, some of our new in colors. There's actually 5 new in colors. The one I did not use is Starry Sky, but I did use Orchid Oasis, Tahitian Tide, Parakeet Party, and Sweet Sorbet. I knew I could get them if I did it, if I tried. Okay, so let's go ahead and get going. For this, I just have a piece of basic white cardstock cut in half. It's 8.5 inches by 5.5 inches, scored in the middle at 4 1/4. So let's go ahead and fold this guy. I'm gonna put a couple things away here. I'm already starting to make a mess. Okay. Now what we're gonna do is I have 4 little strips that I cut, one of each color, and then I also have a bunch of these little flowers that I cut. I'm not going to use them all. I just cut a bunch of them when I wasn't sure which colors I wanted to use. So let's start by creating our little hippo. We're going to use our black Memento ink and the cute little hippo in her little ballet skirt, her tutu. Oh, I don't like the way that's stamped. Okay, let's do this again. Oh, that's the problem. I had a dimensional thing on there. Okay, let's try it again. Oh, see, there it did that. Guess what? Our paper has 2 sides. Okay, there we go. That's so much better, isn't it? My assistant is asleep at my feet. I wore her out when I got home, which was all part of my plan. Okay. Don't want my ink pad to dry out. I'm going to put it away. Now I'm going to take some of my Stamp and Blend markers. And I've got a few different colors here that I played with. So what I did first is I'm going to color the snout and the belly. And for that, I'm going to start with my light and dark crumb cake. So I'm just going to kind of go around the edge with the dark. Remember, this is part of her belly down here too. Okay, now I'm going to take the light and start kind of doing little swirlies. This pulls in the color from the dark, but I'm using the light pen now. And the reason you want to pull it in like that is that that's what causes it to blend, so that you don't have just this dark line. And then I like to just go super lightly over the center there like that, because it gives kind of the illusion of light. Like that. And then I'm going to put those away. Now I'm going to use my, I'm going to take my sweet sorbet. I'm going to use the light sweet sorbet, and I'm going to do her ears, just to give a little bit of pink to her ears. I'm going to do her little fingernails because she's a girly girl and she likes to paint her fingernails. And then go back to my dark for a moment, and I'm going to go around the edge of her skirt just like I did with the dark crumb cake, around the edge of her belly and her snout. I'm going to get her little shoes, or her little ballet slippers. Now I'm taking the light again, and we're just going to fill in the rest of that skirt, making sure to blend, 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 blend. And that was your musical interlude for the evening. Okay, let's go ahead and do the rest of her body. The blue must be for, oh, the blue is for the other project. I was like, where did I use the blue? Okay, so now I'm using Smoky Slate. We're going to start with the dark one. And I'm doing the same thing I've done before, where I'm going around the edges. Now, if you haven't seen this done yet, you may have, but if you haven't, I want to tell you about another thing you can do with these stamps. People have been, instead of filling it in, you know, with hippo colors, they've been like leaving her white and then taking their black and making spots on her and turning her into a cow. And you guys, it is absolutely adorable. Okay, now we're going to take the light and we're going to blend. And then what I did is I took my light one and just very ever so lightly went over the crumb cake. what this does is it just gives it a little bit more of a grayish hue. So it's different still, but it blends in a little bit better, the gray with the crumb cake. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut her out. You can always fussy cut her, but why would you want to do that when you can cut her out with dies that you earned for free through Celebration? So we've got our little cutting and embossing machine again. Whoops. Got my little piece of the tape that I used earlier. I'm just going to reuse it. Line up my die. Oops, gosh, I just get it lined up and then I move my finger and move it all over again. Okay, I think that looks good. Okay. And if it's, you hear that snap, crackle, pop, don't worry about it. That really isn't a problem. Okay. Now let's see how our little girl turned out. There we go. Isn't she just gorgeous? Okay. Now put that away. Put that away. Now let's get going on the card itself. Have these little strips right here. There's 4 of them. And we want to get those, the Tahitian Tide, Sweet Sorbet, Orchid Oasis, and Parakeet Party. And the stamp I have says, woohoo! We're going to do these one at a time. And just doing tone on tone. So there's our first one. Make sure you clean off your stamp in between strips. Okay. Oops. Okay, got the second one. Whoops, that one still has some ink on it, it looks like. Okay. Hey Colleen, welcome. Hey Colleen, I know you won a prize once before and I had your address, but you won a prize again a few weeks ago and I don't still have your address. So will you send me your mailing address either at stamphappenings@gmail.com or here on Facebook because you won another prize and I want to get it in the mail to you. Okay. Oh, that turned out kind of yucky how I got that on there. So let's just do it over again. There, that's better. Okay. Yes, yay you, Colleen. Okay, now got the last one here, Orchid Oasis. There we go. I'm dropping stuff all over the place here, guys. My assistant did not know what to think of that since I dropped it on her. That's what happens when you sleep at my feet. Okay, so now let's just piece our card together. We've got all our pieces. We've got all of these little flowers. We'll do them last. We'll keep them in the bag till we're ready for them. I guess that's okay. Okay, so now I'm just going to go ahead and glue these strips down. Now, when I did this the first time, what I did is I did lay them on my card to get an idea of about where I wanted them placed, so that they didn't end up like totally wonky. But now I've got the first one that I can use as a guide. But when you're doing it, you may want to go ahead and line them up just to figure out where you want them. Okay, now we've got our little dancing girl. Let's put her on with some dimensionals. And I just want to say for a moment, that sound you were hearing in the background is my dog's chew toy. It is not my lunch disagreeing with me. Okay. Trying to get this one off. There we go. So we'll stick her right there. Look at her. Isn't she adorable? And now, okay, so I wanted to do one of each color. So what I did is I took a big one with blue and I used a mini dimensional. I'm sorry, not blue. Orchid Oasis. And we're just gonna put it on there. Oh, you know what? I bet I cut these in half because they are pretty small. So even the mini dimensionals I needed to cut in half to do this. And when you have to do that, it really does help to use your take your pick tool. Ha! It stuck to my scissors. Just because you can get that fine little tip. Because see what happens when you try to use your fingers is it totally sticks to your fingers. Okay, so there's one. Let's go ahead and put that up in this corner right here, right now. And then I also put one of these on a big red one. I'm not going to lay it down quite yet because I want to put a couple little ones down first, but I did want to get that dimensional off my finger. Okay, so then I have a little blue one, or I'm sorry, a little Tahitian Tide and a little Parakeet Party. So just put a little glue dot on, or a little dot of glue. A little green one here. Okay. And then we've got the red one that we just put a dimensional on. Like that. And then what I'm going to do, we're going to do some stuff on the inside too. But before we do that, I don't want to forget, let's put a couple of little white dots on our big ones. So here I'm using our classic matte dots. These come in white, kind of an off-white, gray, and black. I really like these because they're just such basic neutral colors. Okay, so there's one. There's two. Whoops, that one's kind of in a funny spot. There. And so there's the front of our card. But look at the inside here. Let's do the inside. So for this, I've got the stamp that says amazing. And then I have one somewhere that says you are. We're going to put those together and have you are amazing. So first we're going to start with the sweet sorbet. Try to get this as straight as I can. Ooh, good job. Hi, Lucy. She's staring at me like she expects me to give her something. Okay, then we're going to take our black Memento ink and do the you are, just right above the amazing. And then let's put a few more of those little flowers down. So in this case, because there was so much red with the word amazing, I chose not to lay down a red flower this time around. But I have a tempting turquoise. I have a parakeet party. And I have orchid oasis. So let's go ahead and lay those down. And I'm not using any dimensionals this time because I don't want my card to lay flat, or I want my card to lay flat. I don't want it to lay kind of funny, which happens when you have a dimensional on the inside of your card. And let's see. And for that same reason, I'm also not putting any of the embellishments on the inside either. So there we have it. You are amazing. Oh, something I forgot to tell you guys. You know, I usually do envelopes with my cards. Someone, I won't name names, but someone forgot to order envelopes last week. So I don't have any this week, but I did get them ordered, and next week we'll be back to decorating our envelopes because you know I don't like naked envelopes. Okay, now let's put all these little pieces aside here. But that was card number 2. What do you guys think of that one? I'm sorry, that was actually card number 1, wasn't it? Because we made the box. Okay, so now let's make card number 2. Here, I'll clean up my mess a little bit. This next card uses what is becoming one of my favorite sweets in the new catalog. Oops, my phone is starting to go wonky again. It's traveling, you guys. Okay, so, is that straight now? That's a little better, I guess. Okay, so this is our Abigail Rose Sweet, and it's got designer series paper, it's got stamps, it has dies, it has this gorgeous kind of, I don't even know what this ribbon is. It reminds me of tweed. It is, let's see what the thing says. It just says natural finish ribbon, and it's really cool. It's thin, it's lightweight, and you can stamp on it, and I've seen some neat stuff done that way. Okay, so this is the card that we're going to make. This is the inside of the card, so let's get started on it. This is the Cottage Rose stamps and the Cottage Flowers dies that are part of this suite. Okay, so I've just got a half of a sheet of our crumb cake cardstock, 8.5 by 5.5, scored in the middle at 4 1/4. Okay, see, lots of little pieces here, but it's actually a pretty quick and easy card. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece right here and this little strip right here. I'm going to take my blending brush and some balmy blue ink. Ink it up. Get some of that extra off. And then I'm just very lightly kind of going over some of these flowers because I just want to add a little hue of the blue. I don't want an excess amount. It's kind of funny, it's like not going on at all. Got that weird little spot right in the middle, but it's okay because that one will be covered up. Okay, hang on, Lucy. So we've just added a little bit of color to it. I'm going to get a little bit on that little strip too. This is going to go on the inside of our card. Again, it doesn't look like much, and you probably can't even really see it on the camera very well because I don't want it super bold. Let's see. Like I said, you can see that little splotch. That's a lot bolder than what I wanted, but that's going to be covered up. So that's very light. Let's go ahead and do the inside of the card. To get started, we've got this strip of balmy blue, this strip of the designer series paper, and then, oh, I guess we want to wait on that because you'll see why in a moment. Okay, we're going to color this piece really quick. And what I did for this is I took one of my stamping blocks and I got a couple of my re-inkers. So I'm going to start with the blue because that's going to be the biggest portion here. And I probably put way more ink there than what I needed. And I'm going to use, nope, it's right here. Okay, so this is one of my aqua painters. I could not think of the name. So you're gonna get it all nice and wet and all you do is squeeze it, but go ahead and squeeze it onto that block because you wanna kind of dilute that ink. And then I'm just going to kind of quickly go over my flowers. I'm not getting it everywhere. There's a lot of white space still. By the way, this is part of the DSP that comes in this suite. And I just fussy cut this out. I did it ahead of time because I know fussy cutting can take quite some time. Usually I go ahead and I do that on screen. But this one was pretty big and pretty detailed and I knew it would take a while. So I didn't want to make you have to sit and watch that. But that's how I got this. I just fussy cut it. Okay, oops, looks like I missed some of the flower right there. Hello, Miss Lucy. Okay, so I got, whoops, there's that little bit right there, that little flower and that little flower and that little flower. Okay, looks like I got everything I wanted to get. Now what I'm going to do, I have this little paper towel that I'm going to use just to wipe off my block. See, it cleans right up. I'm going to go ahead and squeeze a little bit more of my water through here because I want to get my brush, get that blue off the brush. Okay, now I'm going to add a little bit of the green. This is the soft sea foam. It's a very, very light green. Again, I'm going to dilute it. And I'm just kind of going quickly over these leaves. It's nothing perfect by any stretch of the imagination. If you have come here to see perfection, you are never going to see it with me. I am fond of showing you how to work with your imperfections because I have plenty of those to share. Okay, so it looks like we got all of that. We'll clean off my block. There we go. Clean my pen so that next time I go to use it, it's already cleaned off for me. Now what I'm going to do, put my brush away. I'm going to start layering a couple of pieces. Where is, oh, there it is. Let's go ahead and we're going to stick this down onto this piece. Like I'm about to run out of adhesive there, and I may need to grab a refill. Okay, and now what I'm going to do, this is still a little bit wet, and I don't want to put it down wet, so I'm just going to hit it with my heat embossing tool for a moment. And you can see heating it does cause it to curl up a little bit. Which is okay because you're going to glue it down anyway. But you can flip it over and heat the other side and that'll flatten it back out. Okay, now first what I want to do is figure out exactly where I want to lay this. Now this piece fits really well right there, like that. I think I want to bring it down a little bit though. And I actually should have, I want to line it up with the corner of my card, not with the corner of the DSP. I did it with the corner of the DSP on this one, and in hindsight I thought, I bet I would like it better up against the corner of the cardstock in general. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a tiny, tiny, tiny little bit of adhesive here just so that it holds it in place. You know, I wonder if I like it better on this side. Because, oh, they're upside down if I put it over there. So yeah, we want to put it over here. Glad I caught that. So I'm just going to lay it lightly here. The reason I did that little bit of adhesive is because then I can go ahead and just trim it where I need to. But it's not so much that it will stick and make a big mess. I do want it lined up though. Okay, so now I'm just going to go like this up against the edge of my cardstock. There. And keep this because we're going to have a use for this in just a minute. Now, let's go ahead and, ooh, you guys. Oh no, we don't want to do that because that's, I don't like how that, see how that's, well, I think we're going to have to live. We're going to have to live with it. Okay, so before we stick that down, now we're going to take a bit of this linen ribbon, and all I'm going to do is wrap it around at about the midway point, just like that. And again, I'm going to use my tear and tape. It is so useful. I use it for a lot. Ooh, that wasn't a very, should have had a little bit longer piece there. Pull it nice and tight. Okay, so we've got that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to stick this piece down with dimensionals. Move this maybe so it's a little more centered there. Now we'll pull all those little backs off. I keep hearing Lucy under my desk, and I fear she's doing things like, you know, eating laptop cords and all sorts of things that are, you know, really fun for her. Okay, now I'm going to line this piece up again with the corner, just like so. And then take a little bit of the white crinkle ribbon, and I should have done this at the beginning, and I didn't, but I'm going to take my dark balmy blue Stampin' Blend marker, and I'm just going to color it. And I'll tell you, this crinkle ribbon colors so nicely with our Stampin' Blends. Just like so. And now I'm going to kind of feed it through right here underneath my linen ribbon and tie a little bow. I want it to go this way though. And again, play with my little loops and my tails until I get them the way that I want them. Okay, that's a little bit big, isn't it? There we go. Then cut off the tails. I think that might be a little longer tails than what I want. Okay, there we go. Twist this just a little bit. There. There. That's a little better. This piece is just kind of laying funny and it's giving me grief. Okay, there we go. We're gonna leave that. I did it upside down. Look at that, it's upside down. So we're going to just flip it this way. All of that, and then it was upside down. Can you believe it? I totally can believe it, because that's the kind of thing I do. Okay. There. That's better. That's better. Now what we're going to do, we're almost done, you guys. Almost. Hang in there with me. Okay, so now I have this little strip of crumb cake. I'm going to get my balmy blue ink and my happy birthday stamp. And we're going to stamp it kind of on the edge here. Hope it's straight, and it's not, so we're going to flip it over. And it's still not perfectly straight, but we're going to go with it anyway. And I'm going to cut at an angle right here. And I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive on this end, and I'm going to put a little mini glue dot, or mini dimensional on this end. We're going to stick this right here like that. Ta-da! This is going to go on the front of our card, but we still have the inside to do, but that's going to be quick, okay? So let's do the inside. Well, let's go ahead and stick this down to our card real quick. Kind of make sure my margins are about the same everywhere. There we go. Now let's do the inside really quickly. We've got these two strips. We're going to glue them together. Just a little bit of glue is all it takes. And I'm just centering this strip. Okay, let's get this where it needs to be. A little booger. Okay, cut off the extra. And then, I want to look at my sample one just to make sure what I did. Okay, now let's go ahead and glue this down. Looks like I got a little bit of ink on my white there, but I have a sand eraser that I can use to get that off. Let's line this guy up. That. Then we're going to take this piece. Remember we cut this off of our, we trimmed it off of our front piece. So now what I'm going to do, I don't think I necessarily want the whole thing. Well, maybe. That doesn't look too bad. So let's go ahead and glue it down. And I'm just lining it up against the edge of my white. just like so. I'm going to take my sand eraser and get rid of that little ink spot I got on there. Sorry about the wiggling, everybody. Now I'm going to go ahead and glue this down to the inside of my card. Make sure I've got everything going the right direction. I have been known to put the insides of my cards on upside down. Whoops, that's kind of crooked. It's not very well centered. So let's pull this back up. Make sure our margins look like they're pretty close to being the same everywhere. And there is card number 2 for the night. So let's clean up our mess here. We'll take a quick peek at everything. Why my mouse is here, I don't know. Or my trackball. Clean up my mess just a little bit. We'll take a peek at what we made tonight. If you liked what you saw, hey Tracy, welcome. Welcome Susan, good to see you guys. Okay, so I'm cleaning up here. We're going to take a look at everything that we made tonight. If you liked what you saw, I would love to see some hearts, some likes. Give me some thumbs up. That always just makes me feel good. Then also, if you are watching on YouTube or if you go over to YouTube, you can subscribe to my channel. And if you click on the little bell icon, then you can get it to notify you whenever I upload new videos. And I do always upload this video every Wednesday night. I do it live here on Facebook, but then I upload it onto YouTube as soon as I'm done. Okay. Oh, all the thumbs up and the hearts. Thank you guys. I love that. It makes me feel so good. And it helps with the algorithms of Facebook and YouTube. They like that kind of thing. Okay, so here are the cards that we made tonight. You can see going in the 2 different directions. We have our cute little hippo girl. And then we also have our little lidded milk cartons boxes. These will be really cute with like a Christmas DSP as a little Christmas gift. Thank you, Susan. That is so sweet of you. I appreciate the kind words. If you want to get any of the supplies that I used tonight, or you want to take advantage of the celebration gifts that I showed you, you can shop online at heathersides.stampinup.net. If your order is under $150, it would really help me if you would use this host code. It helps me to be able to continue to provide these videos for free, as well as to get the gifts that I give out. But if your order is over $150, no judgment here. Please don't use the host code. You'll have some free stuff coming to you, and I want to make sure that you are the one who gets it. So thank you guys for all your kind words. I'm glad that you enjoyed what we did tonight. I always enjoy this part of my week. It's my favorite part of the week, stamping with you. I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.